Welcome to another episode of Legendary Kicks and Whips. Today we feature a muscle car legend with the craziest color-changing paint job of all time. The 2004 Ford Mustang SVT Terminator Cobra Mystichrome, along with one of the most coveted Nike Air Jordan 4s, the unreleased Travis Scott Friends and Family Purple Suede.
Yo, what's up? I'm Zeddy and I'm here with my buddy
Sergio.
And today we're diving into the 2004 Mustang SVT Terminator Cobra Mystichrome. This legendary machine is a supercharged 4.6 liter V8 with a 6-speed manual transmission producing 390 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, with a 0 to 60 time of just 4.5 seconds and a top speed of 153 miles per hour.
This color-changing work of automotive genius was only offered in 2004 with a total production of 1,010 units, of which 515 were coupes and 495 were convertible, and had an MSRP of $34,575 plus a $3,650 Mystichrome package option for a total of a little over $38,000, which is $62,000 in today's money.
And this specific example we have here today could be one of the lowest mile Mystichrome coupes out there with only 60 miles on the odometer. And that's right, 60 miles on the odometer.
So we have the SN95 Mustang, which was built, I think they were built in 94, 2004. But it's also considered a new edge Mustang, which I think was 99 to 2004. And what distinguishes the new age from like the other SN95?
The new age had I guess it falls into close to what new age is. It's just very linear, more aggressive lines, a little bit more squared versus a round earlier 90s or mid 90 Mustang. And 99 and up, that's when they had this design. I remember the commercials when they came out. They just looked so modern. They looked a combination of a classic with the rear lights, but it still looked really cool because they brought the retro design, but it was more of a muscular tone of a vehicle versus the 96 and up.
What's weird is that I think they're all fourth generation Mustangs, but they changed the body style in 99, but it's still fourth gen. You would think it'd be a complete different generation.
And it still is a SN95, which for me, this particular car, like from the 03 and 04 Cobras, are one of my favorite muscle cars in general, man. Like I love that design. I mean, of course, if I go to a classic muscle, like the fastback Mustangs, but this 03 and 04, they have to be my favorite cars, man. They just impacted my childhood. And when I started learning a little bit more about muscle cars, this was a car to have. This was a legend in the streets, the Cobra, you know, the Terminator Cobra. Just the name just sounded so cool, the Terminator. It was just something cool was coming in the streets when you would hear the Terminator. And then to see this color right here, the Mystichrome, was just legendary to the top, because there was very rare. I think here in our area in the valley, to see one or two on a monthly basis was super rare. And the most cars that we saw here were convertibles. It was very rare to see a coupe.
So the Terminators were what, 04, 05?
03 and 04. Yeah.
Start lower. So the Terminators were built in 03, 04. Now, regarding the name Terminator, I know there's different stories as to how it got the name. How did it get the name Terminator?
It was a code name for the engine, the Terminator, which was a 4.6 supercharged engine, and having that supercharger on a car in that time, I mean, you were competing with Corvettes like the CO6 that had a little bit over 400 horsepower, and this car showed, or I guess Ford was promoting 390 horsepower, but I think it was underrated, man, because it was beating cars that had more horsepower on the streets, and it was just such a cool car to have because it still wasn't competing with the two-seater like the Corvette. But as far as speed, power, and street presence, they were just out there, man. These cars were really leaving a mark in the literal term, not only in the streets and burning rubber, but also in the cultural world. I mean, and all the enthusiasts that liked speed at the time, like we all did. You know, there were the times where the GTOs were out, like the 04 and up GTOs, when they came back with that Australian design. And then we had the Terminators that were it was so different. I mean, if it was a Mustang, but you could tell there was something different about it from the stands. And we can go over the design, you know, like you mentioned, the the side skirts, the wing. It was just a very unique design for a Mustang, because you would see a Mustang GT, although they were fast, V8, nice and loud, rumble, but you would see a Terminator and you would know the difference. I mean, I don't know what you would like about or what you liked about the car that was impactful for you.
Yeah, so some of the unique components of the Terminator were the side skirts, the hood, also the wheels. They're 17-inch 5-spoke chrome wheels, yeah, which came standard on those cars. I think it was an option in some other.
Yeah, because the OG
Mustangs
was silver. The original standard Mustang was a silver wheel, and then we had the 03, which was the anniversary wheel, so they were charcoal. But the chrome were the wheels to have at the time. I mean, everybody had their dubs, their chrome wheels, and this one with the Mystichrome color package was a perfect combination, man.
Yeah, and this car actually was also built to commemorate the Mustang's 40th anniversary.
Yep.
As well. The Mystichrome package was the paint job, which changed color. It changes from green to blue to black
to
and to
yellow.
Purple, yeah. So it's got all sorts of crazy cool colors. And then what's cool is that in the interior, they also added the Mystichrome color to the seats.
The leather.
Yeah, so the way they did that is they would stain them black, and then they would add the Mystichrome color, and then put a clear coat on top of it
on the leather.
On the leather,
yeah. Because the original
and the steering wheel too.
Yeah, that's true. Because the original Cobra had suede. It was black suede, or black leather with suede on the exterior of the seat. So the Mystichrome was the only one with the full leather with the Mystichrome color in the middle, and it looks amazing in person. I mean, we'll have more footage of that. But adding to the color, man, it was so special because we had a Mystic color in '96, which was also very unique for the time. I mean, I think GM did it a little bit with a couple of the Trans Ams and the Camaros, but the Mystic '96 Cobra was so special, man. Like it gained the name, the chameleon in the streets. At least in my streets, you know, people would call it, "Hey, here comes a chameleon," because it was so ever color changing. You know, you would see all sorts of colors depending on the light. At nighttime, it looked like a black car. During the day, it looks like a blue, green. I mean, whatever you could imagine. And for a kid with all those dreams of having those Hot Wheel cars that change color with water, seeing a Mystichrome Cobra out there, it was like having a toy, man, because it was so special. And also the paint was so hard to get. You know, I don't know if you want to go over that. It's just so special, man. You had to go through hoops and hurdles in order to get. If you wrecked your car, that was it, dude. You're gonna have a hard time getting it repainted.
Yeah, you'd have to get a Ford representative to bring the paint down and supervise the paint job, and then take whatever paint was left over, take them back with them. It was so secretive. They wanted to make sure nobody had the
replicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and on the 04, it wasn't as crazy as 96. 96, the Mystic, which was a very similar color, that had a little bit of a components, and they say that it was same material that they had on the hologram of our dollar bills and the American dollar bills. So that's why it was so hard to make or replicate. And then the 04 was a little bit easier to get, if you want to call it easy, because it was still hard as heck to get. But it was slightly different in color tones and color hues. But it's still, man, like seeing it in person, I don't even know how to describe it, because from my angle, it looks purple. Then where the light hits it, it looks green. It's so beautiful. And it doesn't look like an ostentatious, annoying color, like a bright yellow or a bright orange. Not that they're ugly colors. I mean, I love all those colors depending on the car. But here it's just, it looks mature, it looks clean, it looks so original and different, man. I love this car. It's one of my favorite muscle cars, man.
I always, when I first saw it, I was like, man, this would be the perfect getaway car, right?
Yeah. What color was it?
It was black.
Yeah, it was a purple Mustang.
Yeah. It was green. No, people would never agree on the color, so it'd be a great getaway car for sure.
Now, but another fun fact, and we're going to get into it in a following episode, is that the same design team that worked on the 06 Ford GT worked on the design, which is Camilo Pardo, one of my favorite automotive designers. He did something really cool with the Mustang, because it still looks like a Mustang, but when you pay attention to it, regardless of you knowing cars or not, you'll know it's a Cobra. I mean, it has that presence, that white stance, the rear spoiler with an LED light, with the double exit exhaust, just the hood extractors, the wheels, the side skirts, the vents on the sides, which are very unique to this car. the painted mirrors. It was just so special because you see the bumper, man, and that bumper just screams power. It screams just presence, street presence, power, and also the sound of the blower, man, on the supercharger was so unique at the time. You know, that whine, no other cars had that back then from the factory. I mean, it was so cool to have and so cool to hear on the streets compared to all the naturally aspirated engines back then.
It's so cool that Camilo was working on both of these cars at the same time.
At the same time,
how cool is that?
With the Ford SVT team, which special vehicle team. And you wanted to break down the name, man. Let's do it, because Terminator, like, it's the engine. SVT, the team, the Cobra was just the heritage, you know. Shelby, from the Carroll Shelby time to now, Cobra still speaks speed. You know, you see a Cobra on a car, it speaks power, speed, and heritage. You know, it's history, and that's amazing, man. It's amazing to be able to have this behind us, and really one of the lowest miles on a coupe Terminator that I've seen. I mean, I've looked around online, and we have a couple that are 100 and some miles, but this is just, we have a beauty here. We have a piece of history right here behind us, man.
Did you know that this was the last year they actually used the name Cobra?
Yeah.
Before they switched over to Shelby. What's crazy is that the new Mustangs, they'll have a Cobra on it, but it won't say Cobra anywhere. It'll say Shelby.
Yeah.
And we all know it's a Shelby Cobra, but the official name is just Shelby.
Yeah, that's when the SVT disbanded and it became Ford Performance. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the last SVT vehicles was the 04 Cobra, the Raptor, and then that was it. It changed to Ford Performance, which I think SVT had a really cool just tag to it, man. It had a nice little ring to it, and people knew, oh, you have an SVT, because they had the SVT Focus, the SVT Cobra, the SVT Raptor. It was just a cool group of special cars that if you had that car, you knew you had something special.
Yeah. Interesting fact. Do you know what the first vehicles the SVT made? It's two of the vehicles that you and I absolutely love. 1993 SVT Cobra and the 1993 SVT Lightning.
Oh yes, yeah. Man, the Lightning.
So
yeah,
we'll be reviewing those in the future.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, because I can't forget. We both have owned Lightnings, and yeah. I currently have an 04 Sonic Blue, and I love that truck, man. It's still a beauty to drive, and it holds its own even to the modern, competing with the modern cars. But man, that's so crazy, and I think something like this in today's age, it's important for people who go into the new Mustangs to just get the feel of something like this, with the mechanical feel of the 6-speed, which is not hydraulic, which is a little bit harder to shift. The clutch is a little harder, but man, once you get on the wheel of one of these, you wouldn't want to change, man. It's just, you feel so connected to the road, and then on a car like this, that's so impactful, and it really turns a lot of heads, man. Not only because of the color, but because it's also a Cobra. It's just a piece of art, man, on wheels.
Also, there was 3 of these were converted into Celines. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, dude, I was reading that just a few weeks ago. Imagine those, man. Imagine those. I mean, these already look great, but then when getting the Celine package on it, which had the longer wing, like similar to the 930, kind of like a whale tail, the longer wing, all the Celine interior upgrades, the Celine wheels. And Celine was known for having some amazing colors, but what can you do to a Mystichrome, man? The Mystichrome is just a special color in its own. It's just, I love this car, man. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite muscle cars.
Now, regarding values, we don't see a lot of these come up for sale just because they're very limited in quantity. But we do have some recent sales from maybe the last couple of years. You're looking at anywhere from 70 to upwards of 80,000. Maybe some low miles, maybe like 1,000 miles. Maybe you might get up there in the 80s. This specific example, I mean, we estimate it to be well over 100,000.
Yeah, easy, man. Then with that mileage, it's practically new. It smells new. I mean, 60 miles, man. That's, sometimes you buy a vehicle new from the factory that has 60 miles because they move it around or test drives. But this car right here, you know, it's 04, more than 20 some years, and it's still in tip-top shape. You know, there's no damage whatsoever, and the interior is just impeccable, man. So yeah, I think over $110,000 would be proper for something like this. And then a regular Cobra, they still go up a low miles. I've seen some recently. I think some of the dealerships in San Antonio that sell exotic cars, they have one, a red one with the anniversary package, and it's at 79,000, bro, with about 5,000
What year
miles.
is it?
Yeah, it's an '03.
Oh, three, nice.
Yeah, it's $79,000 with low miles, and it doesn't have the Mystichrome package. It's just a red Cobra, but it still looks great. You know, like I had a Sonic Blue, it's turned a lot of heads, but then when you see this, man, it's just something special. It's a toy. You know, it's something that you protect, you take care of it, and you ride only in special moments. I don't know about riding this one with 60 miles, but hopefully we get a chance to ride it and tell you guys about it.
So it's all original paint, no mods whatsoever, 60 miles.
Untouched. So speaking about values, how much does miles on a car affect the sale of the car?
When you're talking about limited production cars, the miles are very important. It adds a lot of value to it. If it's all original and if it's very low, obviously the lower, the more value it creates for the car. So you want to keep those miles as low as possible for unique cars such as these. So going back to the Terminator name, some people think that the name was given to the car because of Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Terminator. Some people say that it was going to terminate the rivalry between Firebird and the Camaro and the Mustang. But that's not the case, right?
No, man, which would be really cool, man. It would be cool as heck if that was the case. But I know there's a lot of licensing and a lot of other crap that comes with being able to get a name like that. But it was more of a code name for the engine. It was a special name. It was a special engine with the supercharger that wasn't as common as it is now. You know, a lot of cars now are forced induction turbos or blowers. But back then, to have a 4.6 liter Mustang, which was already fast, and then adding a supercharger on it that gave it speeds that wasn't only terminating or competing with the F-body cars from back then, like the Firebird or the Camaro, but it was already getting into the leagues of Corvettes, of some Ferraris, because it was just so fast and so underrated. So yeah, but I think a lot of people, though, they still use the Terminator slang, and even on aftermarket parts that you can buy some components for the hood, and it'll have the same type of font that says Terminator. And I think it's really cool because that's for us, that's for the culture, that's for the car enthusiasts, that it just gives it more of a special street presence, being able to talk about that and to know that you have a Terminator, you know, and it's not just a regular Cobra, it's a Terminator, and it's only '03 and '04. If you want to see more pictures and details of this 2004 Mystichrome Cobra, you can check it out at rockstarcarauction.com. What's going on, bro?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, a couple of things that are unique to the Mystichrome Terminator Cobra are obviously the paint color, but we also have some factory chrome wheels that came with the Terminator. That's how you know it's a Terminator. We got the hood. We also got the unique spoiler, and something that a lot of people miss is the colored mirrors, the same paint color as the car. Usually they come in a plastic black.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, the wheels and the color was an option with the Mystichrome package. And as Sergio mentioned, we do have, outside of the Mystichrome package, everything else is a regular Cobra. You can see the Terminator hood, very distinct, very unique to '03, '04 Mustang Terminator Cobras. And the front, which you'll see later, you can see the bumper is just specifically for the Cobras in '03, '04. And the same goes as a rear bumper that has the twin exhaust.
Oh, and the side vents too.
Mm-hmm. The side vents come with the horizontal design on the vent rather than the honeycomb on the standard Mustang. The wheels and tires, they're same in front and the back, 275/40/17s with the chrome, with the Cobra logo on the caliper, and
Got the SVT on the center cap. Pretty cool.
very unique.
And this Cobra is really cool too. You see that on the '93 Cobra also.
Yeah, it's the Cobra, and it's slightly changed from the original Cobra. Now it looks a little bit more modern, and I think this is the same Cobra that carried over to the newer Mustang, the Shelby GT500, the Shelby GT350 as well. And let's go to the inside, bro.
Sweet. Let's check it out.
Let's see what we have here. Nice. It's already rare to find a Terminator in great condition, especially a coupe, especially a Mystichrome. But to find this with only 60 miles, it's basically looking at a brand new engine. It's untouched, unmodified. You have a 4.6 liter V8, 32 valve with the supercharger, hand built in the niche line, Romeo plant.
Same as the Ford GT.
Same as a Ford GT, man. And
Yeah, so this is what the engine, I mean, the whole car would look like, coming out of the factory, being on the showroom floor. So it's just a real blessing to be able to see a Terminator Mystichrome Cobra in this kind of condition.
yeah, because the Mystichrome was one of the most rare iterations of the Mustang Cobra. And then to find a Mystichrome with these low miles, perfectly untouched, no modifications, all original, just a great collector item, another museum piece.
The Nike Air Jordan 4 Travis Scott Friends and Family Purple Suede, released in 2019 with only 72 units made. It features a purple suede upper with a black grid mesh, and also has the Cactus Jack logo on the right heel and the Nike Air logo on the left heel. The Friends and Family edition of any of the shoes that Nike releases are very limited in production, and they're intended to go to friends or people that are close to the collaborator or to some of the Nike executives. And that's what makes them Friends and Family. These were not released to the public.
And how do you differentiate a Friends and Family Cactus Jack versus a regular out on the market Cactus Jack?
So there's 3 different colors of the Friends and Family Cactus Jack 4s. There's purple, there's a mocha, and then there's a blue. The only one that was released to the public was the blue, but they also had a Friends and Family version of the blue, if that makes sense. So right off the bat, if you see a purple or a mocha, which is like a brown, right off the bat, those are Friends and Family. Now, if you see a blue one, the way to be able to determine if it's Friends and Family versus one of the general release or the GR is to look at the back of the heel. The Friends and Family, the left heel is always going to say Nike Air, whereas the general release is going to have the Jumpman logo.
It's backwards, or it's opposite, as the Friends and Family have the Cactus Jack on the right.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah.
They're beautiful, man. I really like the choice. Was there a specific reason why they chose like a purple suede on it? Is there a relation to maybe an album?
No, none whatsoever. The blue one, that one it's a Houston Oilers edition color. Mm-hmm. Being that Travis Scott is from Houston, I think he was a big Oilers fan growing up, so they did a kind of a nod to that.
The Warren Moon days, man.
The Warren Moon days.
Warren Moon, the quarterback.
So what's really cool is these pairs. There's different shades of purple. As you can see, the one over here on the turntable, it's more like a bluish kind of purplish, whereas the ones on the table here are more of a deep purple.
Yeah, how many shades of this purple were made, or this blue?
It's really hard to determine that. Nobody really knows. There's even the mocha. There's all sorts of shades. The only one that doesn't differ very much is the
blue one,
the blue color.
So you would say that the purple and the mocha would be a little bit more rare than the blue?
No, I think it's about 72 units per color.
Really?
Is what?
So he has a pretty big family to be able to, and family and friends.
Yeah.
And another unique thing that I noticed, because I was able to get a pretty awesome pair of Cactus Jacks from Legendary Sneakers, and I love the suede, man. Like the suede, it's all suede. I mean, here you already instructed me and reprimanded me because I almost touched the suede with my fingers. So one of the main reasons for us not to touch the suede would be not to put our oils, right, or to stain the suede, and to keep it dead stock, right?
Correct.
And so I do notice that yes, they're all suede, but the color, I know this one has some different like interior colors. This is like a charcoal, right? And then that's a black,
Mm-hmm.
and even some of the like the patches are different as well. Like this one has black, and this one has it's all purple. Is there a reason for that, or is it just to make it more special and unique?
They're just all variations. We don't know the exact specifics on that, but this middle pair here is very unique because the back tab is purple versus most of them are actually black.
Yeah, and if you guys have any facts or info, we would love to hear. We want to make this a community, so post it in the comments. We want to hear you guys out.
This middle pair also is also very unique because the midsole is purple, where normally it's like a clear color.
Kind of like this one.
Yeah, that would be the clear color versus the purple sole over here. So that makes it very unique, as well as the purple back tab.
How much would they have to pay in order to get into one of these suckers?
You're looking anywhere from like $35,000 to $40,000.
And that goes for all of these, or?
Yeah, for all of them. Obviously, the size kind of depends also, or I'm sorry, the value depends on the size, the condition. These are all dead stock, and actually all of these are available. If anybody's looking to get into a Travis Scott 4 purple.
Legendary Sneakers, we'll post the website. They're in San Antonio. And one thing, and teach me on this, brother, because when I was younger, and then I started growing my family, I had my boy. I wanted him to match with me. And I would always say, you know what, it's a smaller shoe. It's going to be cheaper because it's less leather. That was my logic. Yeah. But that's not the case, right? Like on shoes, something like this, the size doesn't really make a difference in price.
Well, when they're in such limited production, then the size doesn't make a huge difference. The only thing is that there's not a lot of people that wear the smaller size. It might just take a little bit longer to sell the shoe. You got to find the right buyer for it.
Nice.
Whenever I first saw this shoe, when I look at the color, the purple, it just reminded me of Skeletor's Tiger, which was Panther. I think he was a Puma. It just has the same like cool, like deep purple. But that's just, the 80s kid in me seeing that,
Yeah, man, it's so cool. And then those colors for anyone, it also screams what was that cartoon with the raisins, the rock and roll raisins? Remember that?
Yeah.
It's very, very 80s oriented with the grays, with the purples, and just to have so many in front of you is just insane, man, insane. So here we have about what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, about $160,000 in shoes. It's amazing. It's amazing. So if you guys want to check it out, you guys want to throw some money at your collection, do it here at Sneaker.
It's definitely one of the coolest shoes that I think Nike has ever made in collaboration with an artist. And we're just blessed to have, 4 pairs here with us so we can kind of share with you guys. And
so thank you, Travis Scott, man. Thank you for this collaboration. Thank you, Nike. Thank you, Jordan. It's amazing. It's amazing to have this, and then right behind it, a color that also represents unique and art and history. It's pretty cool.
There's pictures online of Travis Scott wearing these shoes. There's also a picture of PJ Tucker wearing them, actually in a game playing with them.
What?
So that's kind of crazy, yeah.
And it's the friends and family?
Yeah, the friends and family.
I mean, he could do it. I'm pretty sure
he's a big collector. He's known as a sneaker collector.
Sneakerhead. That's amazing, man. Well, thank you so much for showing this to me, man. It's always impressive to see such limited collections and having them here in front of you, is knowing that they're so coveted and so sought after, and seeing it in this shape, dead stock, it's insane, man. So where can they find more of this?
They can check these shoes out at Legendary Sneakers in San Antonio, Texas at the North Star Mall. And stay tuned for some more episodes. We've got some cool shoes and some cool cars coming up.
Really cool.